As you reach the eastern realm of Dwarrowdelf, the craftsmanship of the dwarves is proudly displayed, but the sound of drums sound in the deep, and it appears that these halls are infested with orcs. Hello, and welcome back to the Line Unbroken, my series in which I am playing through each of the scenarios of the Lord of the Rings living card game in turn, using only cards which were available at the time of the release in imitation of the existing LOTR LCG progression series. Here I am playing the final scenario of the Dwarrowdelf cycle, Shadow and Flame. So, remove Dark Pit from the encounter deck and place the side out of play. There it is. Add Durin's Bane to the staging area and shuffle the encounter deck. A crack like lightning sounds before you, and a creature of shadow and flame blocks your way. It is an ancient demon of Morgoth, and its presence explains the massing in Moria. When revealed, reduce each player's threat to 0. Reveal X cards from the encounter deck where X is 1 less than the number of players in the game, and add them to the staging area. So, 0 threat, 0 threat. 2 players, so I reveal 1 card. Goblin Scout. Goblin Scout, less of a problem under these circumstances, because you start well below threat of 25, and so you can optionally engage him. Alright. So here I am. I decided not to take a mulligan with either deck. I wanted to hold on to this Test of Will, plus Out of Sight is nice, and Master of the Forge can dig out my key attachments. And on this side I've got Resourceful, Rindell Blade, Snowborn Scout, Dunedain Wanderer, Faramir. It's all pretty nice. So, let us begin. Forces of Rivendell will march on these monsters, whatever. Okay, so since I've just drawn it, risk some light. 0 threat, I am definitely in secrecy. So this costs 0. Look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. You may select 1 card and move it to the bottom of the deck. Return any unselected card to the top in any order. Fantastic card when you have the secrecy discount. Okay. Well, I think I want to keep in a flame up there. Because of course, Durin's Bane is considered to be engaged with each player whose threat is 1 or greater. Now, since my threats on both decks are 0, it will not attack me this round, so giving it an attack boost makes no difference. I suppose the Great Cave Troll would just be too difficult to kill, and it's 1 more threat than the Swordsman, so I'll leave it at that. And now I know that my staging is only going to give me 1 threat, so I can plan accordingly for depending on if I want to kill enemies. Okay, now I will pay 2 for this Master of the Forge. Search the top 5 cards of my deck for an attachment. Resourceful will do nicely. Shuffle the deck. So I will spend 1 for that Resourceful on Frodo. In the long run, Elrond may be better because Vilya gives him a spirit icon, and so his resources are flexible like that. But right now, I want to make sure that I have spirit resources. The Test of Will, Out of Sight, Golden Tracker potentially. But of course I don't need the Test of Will resource right now because I know what my staging is. Now, here... Okay, I want to be able to kill this scout. So potentially, if I can hold on to a resource on Aragorn, he will be able to ready after questing. I can take the attack undefended. On the other hand, I could just get more stuff out quicker. Yeah, I'm going to just play this Durin Wanderer for 2 and put Resourceful onto Elra here. It's most important on Elra here because ideally, if I can get everything up and running, he will reach the point of being able to defend the Balrog. Yeah. It'll take a little while, but he can get there. And okay, so 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. How does 14 sound? Against, I know for a fact that it's going to be 8. I'll make 6 progress. It works. So, Durin's Bane gets +3 attack until the end of the round. Makes no difference because it is not going to attack, so I feel no need to cancel the effect. And a Goblin Swordsman. So, total of 8 threat, 6 progress. Deck 2 will optionally engage the Goblin Scout and take its attack undefended. So that's 1 damage, which I will put onto Eladan. And then the Durin Wanderer can kill the Scout. Pretty nice first round, rather. Now it starts to get more difficult because now Durin's Bane will actually start attacking. So, okay. Attachment. Okay, Vilya is the only attachment, but it is a very good one to grab. Over here, well, I have this feint, so that's pretty good. Let's pay 3 for the Longbeard Elder and leave it at that. And over here, I pay 1 from Glorfindel for Resourceful. That's definitely a good idea. Let's see, of course at this point I don't know what my staging is going to be like last time. I definitely want to hold back a resource for this test of will. Probably going to want Frodo to defend Durin's Bane. That's the reason for Frodo being my general theme was Rivendell marching to war, as you know if you've read the accompanying article about the deck building. Frodo is a great choice because, well, I mean, I have a massive threat ceiling since I start at 0, and so he can defend against Durin's Bane until Elrahir gets up and running. At least that's the idea. There's 5 threat in the staging area. Get Vilya onto Elrond. And that will be it, holding back the remaining resource for a test of will. So, questing to... The Durin Wanderer could be useful for combat, and he only has the one willpower. So I guess I'll hold him back. Okay, so let's see. As far as Durin's Bane's attacks goes, deck 2 is going to feint it, and deck 1 is going to have Frodo defend. Now it's a question of whether I want to take other enemies, because I would need 3 attack to kill the swordsman, and I would also need to defend it. So I wouldn't mind being able to use Elrond. Okay, so Glorfindel is definitely questing. Gets me up to 5. Frodo is not questing, because for all that I have room to raise my threat a lot, I would rather not do it too much too quickly, and I don't need that much progress to progress. So I suppose if I just hold back Elver here, and he can potentially defend something. So that would be a total of 9 willpower. Might not do so well with that. So maybe I should send Elrond rather than using Vilya, or I could use Vilya and hope that it helps me out. I think I'm going to do the Vilya thing. Technically I will do this before committing the characters to the quest. Okay, I got a Northern Tracker, so it makes no difference. I'm going to be sending this 9 against 5. Counterspell. This is a horrible card, potentially. So yes, attach counterspell to Durin's Bane. Cancel a condition attachment with the text forced. When a player plays an event, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If that card is a treachery card, cancel the effect of the event, discard the event player's hand, and discard counterspell from play. And of course, the art is depicting Durin's Bane using the counterspell against Gandalf. It's brilliant art. It's a very thematic effect and a very annoying one, which is why I'm going to cancel it. And another Goblin Scout. Okay, so that's 8 threat there. I'll make 1 progress. And let's optionally engage this Goblin Scout. Well, actually no, let's optionally engage the Goblin Scout here, and let's bring down the Swordsman on this side. Now, shadow cards. And Durin's Bane will get another shadow card when it attacks this deck. So, Elra here will defend against the Goblin Swordsman. +3 because it is engaged with the first player. Wow, so that's attack of 6. Elra here takes 3 damage. And then we use Feint on Durin's Bane. Over here, Frodo is going to defend against Durin's Bane. Attacking enemy is Durin's Bane. It gets +3 attack. So that's 9 attack against 2 defense. So I raise my threat by 7 to cancel the damage. And the Goblin Scout I will take undefended. Plus X attack, where X is the number of players in the game. So that's 3 damage on the Glorfindel. Attacking back, Dunedain Wanderer will put 1 damage on the Swordsman, and the Northern Tracker will kill the Scout. And Control N. Alright. Okay, there's Burning Brand, that obviously is going to be handy. And here's Bjorn. Let's put on my extra resources for Resourceful. Now, this could be a pretty good time for Out of Sight. Don't have a Test of Will anymore, so no need to save a resource for that. Spend 2 resources for Unexpected Courage on Elrond, and then just use Vilya blindly. Bring in a Stargazer. Okay, that will be useful to set up future uses of Vilya. Use the Master of the Forge to dig out a Song of Wisdom. And shuffle the deck. Now, under the circumstances, I'm going to spend 1 resource from Glorfindel to heal 2 damage from Elra here, because of course it's heal 1 damage from his ability, and then Elrond's response heals another point of damage. Okay, yes, and I still have 2 resources to play Out of Sight. Well, over here, let's bring in this Snowborn Scout. Can't trigger his response because there are no locations in play, but he can chump block Durin's Bane. And I will put a Rundel Blade onto Eladan. So now let's quest 3, 6. 8, 10, 12. 12 against 4. That's probably overkill, given I only need 2. Hold back Eladan. If I go down to 7, no, that's probably taking it too far. So let's stick with 10 against 4. Ranging Goblin. When revealed, each player must deal 1 damage to a hero he controls. Okay, so let's put 1 on Eladan, and I will actually put 1 more on Glorfindel. See, given that using Glorfindel's ability will heal people in 2s, having them on multiples of 2 is a reasonable idea. The same would go for Wardens of Healing if I had them, which of course I don't. And the second card, Watchful Eyes. Okay. Right. Can't cancel it, of course. So, I need to put it on the hero I think is least likely to be exhausted at the end of the combat phase. Which, to be honest, is probably Elrond, since he does have the Unexpected Courage. Will definitely go off this round, though. So 6 threat, I make 4 progress. The fire demon is Durin's Bane, doom of the dwarves and the new lord of Moria. It cannot be destroyed by mere strength of arms. You must find another way to deal with this Balrog, as it relentlessly attacks, sword and whip weaving a deadly pattern of flame. Forced. If at least one hero committed to the quest this round, place 4 progress tokens on the rearguard, bypassing any active location at the end of the quest phase. That does apply immediately. At least one hero committed to the quest this round, so I'll place 4 progress straight away. Alright. So, let's see. At this juncture I can use my Stargazer over here. Okay. That's nice. So I'll have Bjorn on the top, and then Arwen. I'll actually just make it simpler. Arwen and then Bjorn. Then I suppose Miravor is the next most useful. Though at that point it doesn't matter because I'm going to be using the Master of the Forge anyway. Now let's see. Right, what is the top card in the encounter discard pile? Inner Flame. Okay. So, I will not bother to engage the ranging goblin. Let's deal out shadow cards. Once again, Frodo will defend against Durin's Bane. So, 6 attack versus 2 defense, raise threat by 4. Over here, the Snowborn Scout will defend against Durin's Bane. So that's up to 8 attack against 1 defense, 1 hit point. The Snowborn Scout is destroyed. Now, Ranging Goblin forced. After a character leaves play, shuffle Ranging Goblin and the top card in the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck. That's why I didn't bother engaging it, because it was just going to go away. Let's shuffle those in. And then Elra here will defend against this swordsman. Takes no damage. And let's see, the Dunedain Wanderer will kill the Goblin Swordsman. I could actually attack Durin's Bane at this point. Rindel Blade reduces its defense to 1, so the Northern Tracker plus Eladan would be a total of 5 attack against 1 defense, putting 4 damage on it. Yeah, I think I'll do that. It'll regenerate most of it, but it's still actually kind of a reasonable idea. Elrond is exhausted at the end of the combat phase, so I have to reveal 1 card from the encounter deck, which is a Goblin Swordsman. Alright, so at the start of the refresh phase, Durin's Bane regenerates, so Control N. Extra resources for Resourceful. Okay. This is looking pretty good. Let's put a Rivendell Blade onto Elra here. And yeah, let's bring in Faramir. Now let's use Vilya to bring in Bjorn. Oh yeah, I was planning to play Out of Sight. rather than defending with Frodo. I completely forgot that. Never mind. Use the Master of the Forge to search for attachments. Okay, I think I will take the Burning Brand rather than the additional Mirror. Spend 2 for Arwen. Spend 1 to heal Glorfindel. Pay 1 for a Song of Wisdom onto Elrohir, and then 2 for a Burning Brand onto Elrohir. Actually, I will take back the healing of Glorfindel and have him use one of his resources for that Burning Brand. So now I still have the option of Out of Sight. And yeah, okay. Actually, no, I should wait just in case things go wrong. So, okay, so I'm going to remember to use Out of Sight this time, which means I can send Frodo on the quest. That's 35. 7. Applying the boost to Elrohir. No, wait. Can't send Frodo. I'm still applying the Arwen boost to Elrohir, though. Putting him up to 4 defense. So, that's 3, 5, 7, 9. There's 5 threat in the staging area. Let's go with that. 9. I did shuffle the deck when I put those cards back in it, didn't I? Yes, clearly. So, okay. I don't really care enough about that 1 damage to remove a questing hero from the quest. And it surges. Second Deep, which I currently can't put progress on because Durin's Bane is undamaged. And Stray Goblin. So that is an additional 5 threat. I'm questing unsuccessfully. But I will exhaust Faramir. It doesn't matter which deck I target. They're both committing 2 characters to the quest. So it increases my willpower by 2, meaning I make 1 progress. And since at least 1 hero committed to the quest this round, I'll place another 4. Then let's travel to the Second Deep, because I do plan to put some damage on Durin's Bane again. And then let's engage Stray Goblin. So, Elrohir will defend the Goblin and spend a resource to ready himself. The shadow effect is cancelled because of the Burning Brand. And then he will defend Durin's Bane. The shadow effect is cancelled because of the Burning Brand, but that's still 6 as an attack against 4 defense, including the boost from Arwen, and of course Aladan being in play, so he will take 2 damage. Over here, Why did I not engage this swordsman? Since that was a case of me just being stupid and forgetful, I am going to say that I engaged the swordsman. Because, of course, I am going to play out of sight, meaning that enemies engaged with me cannot attack me this phase, meaning the swordsman and Durin's Bane have their attacks stopped. So I could have sent Frodo on the quest, as I was originally planning. Now, alright. So Eladan can kill Straight Goblin on his own. And let's have Frodo and the Northern Tracker kill the Goblin Swordsman. Then I have Dunedain Wanderer and Bjorn attacking for... I could trigger Bjorn's action. Of course, he gets shuffled back into the deck, which is not necessarily a problem with Vilya in the mix. On the other hand, I only need to have some damage for Second Deep to work, and I can save Bjorn's action for later. And now I will use my Stargazer. None of those are particularly good. As your Vilya fodder. None of them are really things that I want. So, okay, Watchful Eyes does not go off, because Elrond is still ready. Control R. We are now in the refresh phase. Everything has refreshed, and I'm going to trigger my Master of the Forge. To look at the top 5 cards, I will pull Asphalth into my hand, and then shuffle my deck, and then use the Stargazer again. Top 5 cards. Okay, so I want to draw Light of Valinor, and then I'll Vilya the Unexpected Courage. The Fast Hitch would be nice as well. So I suppose then that can be what I draw next round. Or the round after next, rather. Okay. And Control N moves us into the new round. Faint, that is. Of course, very handy. Extra resources from Resourcefuls. Right. So... well, obviously I want Light of Valinor. I suppose... it's probably still better to put it on Glorfindel to have him ready for combat, to attack. He will spend 1 resource to heal Elra here. Asphalth, Burning Brand. Actually, no, the Burning Brand ideally I want on Frodo. So, let's say Asphalth is a good idea, and then I will use Vilya and Unexpected Courage to bring out another Unexpected Courage, which is going to go onto Elrond. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like I have nothing that I can play. So, let's see, Frodo is going to have to defend. So, Elrond. Glorfindel doesn't exhaust. Arwen. Boosting over here. Aragorn will spend a resource to ready himself. And the Longbeard Elder, of course. So, 2, 4, 6, 12. Questing for 12 against 4. Oh no, wait. Oh, Durin's Bane has regenerated. Right. I forgot that Durin's Bane, of course, regenerates. And so since I want to actually put progress on the location, I will, again, retcon. I know I shouldn't do this too much, but I will retcon and say that I did trigger. No, that would have shuffled my deck. I'll just suck it up. So, 12 willpower against 4 threat. Mountain's Roots, and another Watchful Eyes. Limit 1 per hero. So I suppose that one will go on Glorfindel. So, there is only 6 threat in the staging area, but I can't put progress on the second deep. However, I do put 4 progress straight onto the rearguard, ignoring the active location, because at least one hero committed to the quest. Durin's Bane is the only enemy in play, so actually no. Elra here will take advantage of the fact that he is currently a sentinel thanks to Arwen, and also spend a resource to ready himself. And defend Durin's Bane with a defense of 4 against 6, he takes 2 damage. And then for the second attack, I will play this Feint. Of course, Feint only stops Durin's Bane attacking a specific player, this being the errata that came out to try and nerf the Hammerlock. Rather. Okay, now I can potentially dump a lot of damage onto Durin's Bane at this point. So let's see how much. 3, 5, dropping his defense to 0. 8, 10, 13, 14, 16, without triggering my Watchful Eyes. 16. That's pretty good. And yeah, since I'm not on the final stage, I don't really see a point to going any further than that. Let's discard that. Shadow card. Watchful Eyes does not trigger. Control R. Durin's Bane regenerates. And at this point I'm going to use the Stargazer on deck 2. Have them reorder their deck. And that is what I was looking for, Durin Warning, to buff up Elra here a bit more. Some more card draw would really come in handy. Yeah, Snowball Scout would be useful. Rivendell Blade is not really a big deal. Neither is resourceful at this point, to be honest. So I suppose I'll leave the rest of it as it is. And Control N. Because I draw this Durin Warning. What do I draw over here? Fast Hitch, as I knew I was going to. So I should have used Asphalot last round to clear the mountain's roots. or indeed to put progress on the second deep. Well, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so extra resources from resourceful. And let's put a Doomsday Warning onto Elra here. So now, including the boost from Arwen, which he will be getting, he will be defending for 5 and cancelling all shadow effects against Durin's Bane's 6 attack. This is all coming together. That's obviously all I'm playing there. Glorfindel will heal Elra here. I could play the fast hitch. Yeah, I'm going to play the fast hitch. Search for another attachment. Well, I will take the extra copy of Vilya because it does at least thin my deck. And then Unexpected Courage, Vilya, Blind, but Gandalf. Fantastic. So what do I want to do? I mean, I don't think I really need to put the extra damage on Durin's Bane. Probably. So I could drop my threat, or I could draw more cards. I think drawing more cards seems like an idea. Yeah, Oh, I can't afford the Miner of the Iron Hills. I would really like to get rid of one of these Watchful Eyes, but it's not an option right now. However, I will play Out of the Wild. So, search the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. So, it has to be worth no victory points, so I can't get rid of the Cave Troll. Yeah. Locations and enemies, fairly innocuous. Fiery Sword, I would like to avoid. So I'll add the Fiery Sword to the victory display and shuffle the other cards back into the deck. So, alright. Questing. There's 6 threat in the staging area. I would like to clear the second deep, but progress on here doesn't matter because so long as I commit at least 1 hero to the quest, which I will automatically pass it due to the forced effect. And I can clear Mountain's Roots with Asphalloth. If need be. So, the 6th threat I want to definitely make 3 progress. So obviously I'm sending Glorfindel. I'll send Frodo readying with a fast hitch. Arwen. I'll send Aragorn readying with a resource. And I'll send the Longbeard Elder. 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. I still have Faramir in reserve. I might send Elrond just to be really sure. Oh, Faramir would add 3 over here, so yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, chance encounter. Put the top enemy in the encounter discard pile into play, engaged with the first player. Okay, a ranging goblin is put into play, engaged with the first player. And goblin tunnels. So that's an additional 2 threat, meaning I make exactly 3 progress, clearing the second deep. And because I committed at least 1 hero to the quest, for progress. There is a crumbling pile of boulders on the edge of a teetering cliff, and it gives you a sudden idea. There are chasms and pits along the path you are travelling, and perhaps a well-timed rock slide could send the Balrog down to the depths below. When revealed, Durin's Bane makes an immediate attack on the first player, and adds Dark Pit to the staging area. So, let's shadow him up. Over here will defend and spend a resource to ready. The shadow effect is cancelled. And because over here now has 5 defense, he only takes 1 damage. And add Dark Pit to the staging area. Okay. I am going to use Asphalt just to get rid of the mountain's roots entirely, and I am going to travel to the Dark Pit. I think it's time. So, moving to combat. Shadow, Shadow. Faramir will defend against the ranging goblin. Takes no damage. Elra here will defend against Durin's Bane and use a resource to ready. Takes 1 damage. And then, discard that, do this new shadow card for this attack, which Frodo will defend. The defending player discards 1 ally he controls if able. I'll discard the Master of the Forge. Okay. Now, oh, and a character left play, so the ranging goblin and that counterspell are shuffled back into the encounter deck, and also I need to raise my threat by 4. Oh, I'm gonna come out of secrecy, damn. Since the goblin's gone, I'll discard the shadow card. Now, of course, it is really handy that, of course, Durin's Bane is considered to be engaged with each player, so you can all attack together rather than needing to attack separately. Well, I suppose, with the Rivendell Blades dropping Durin's Bane's defense to 0 until the end of the phase, it comes to the same thing. So, anyway, 3, 5, 8, 10... Triggering his action, 18, 20, 22, 26. So, 26 attack, and its defense is reduced to 0. To be honest, I don't even need to trigger Bjorn. I won't bother. I'll leave it. Actually, no, I will. Just for the hell of it. So, 26. There is now 39 damage on Durin's Bane, out of its 27 hit points, because you can't go into negatives, so technically it still has 0, but you are allowed to place more damage than an enemy has hit points if it's indestructible. So, at the end of the combat phase, Bjorn is shuffled back into my deck. That is discarded. Control R. Refresh phase. Durin's Bane heals 3, but it still has 0 hit points. Technically it has -9. And now, while Dark Pit is the active location, it gains refresh action. Exhaust X characters, maximum 3 you control, to discard the top X cards of your deck. If all discarded cards have a higher combined printed cost than the remaining hit points of Durin's Bane, discard Durin's Bane from play. Now, since Durin's Bane has 0 hit points, I could just discard 1 card and be guaranteed that it would work, because I have no 0 cost cards in these decks. But just to show what I can potentially do, I'll use the Stargazer in the refresh phase. See, there's Bjorn again. and put Bjorn, Gildor, and Out of the Wild on the top of my deck. I'll then exhaust Gandalf, the Northern Tracker, and Frodo to discard those cards for a total combined printed cost of 14. So Durin's Bane is very dead, or at least very dropped down a pit. So I mean, I think it still had more than 14 hit points remaining before, but if I'd triggered Bjorn's action the previous round, I could have had Durin's Bane below 14 hit points already, potentially, except for at that point I was still on stage 2 and so I couldn't do this. So, Durin's Bane has fallen down the pit, and players can't win the game while Durin's Bane is in play. If Durin's Bane leaves play by the effect on Dark Pit, the players have won the game. I don't know why there is one progress, or one quest point on this quest stage, because all you need to do to win is throw Durin's Bane down the pit. You don't need to make that one progress. Though, with what I've got at this point, I could pretty easily do it. And so that is Shadow and Flame. Did it pretty quickly, which of course is one of the ways that you kind of want to go. Get through it quickly before Durin's Bane has a chance to kill you too much. Certainly with making use of Frodo, I don't want to keep going too long and keep driving my threat into the stratosphere. And of course you want to make sure you still have some decent cards in your deck to discard for Dark Pit. If you manage to draw your entire deck, then you're screwed. But yeah, these decks worked out pretty well, because of course I had all these plans set up for means of actually defending Durin's Bane by using Frodo and just powering up Elrahir with Doomsday Warning, Song of Wisdom, Burning Brand, and Resourceful, so you could ready, and Arwen, so he could be a Sentinel and an extra point of defense. Rather than, and so that made it much easier than if I was having to try and keep chump blocking the Balrog every single round, because then I wouldn't have been improving my own board state. I would have gotten to stage 3 and be like, okay, I need to kill the Balrog with what attack power? I have my heroes and nothing else. Because I've sacrificed all my allies to the Balrog. So yeah, that obviously worked out nicely. I think I've obviously shown the power of Vilya, Stargazer, Master of the Forge, incredibly useful digging out all this stuff. Of course, I've forwent my usual Rivendell Minstrels, which I would have for the Song of Wisdom Burning Brand combo, just in favour of the Master of the Forge to dig out everything. And that worked out pretty well. And of course, secrecy cards are insane in this particular scenario, because you can be in secrecy with a hero lineup like this, that would usually have each deck starting at 32. Regardless, this all worked out nicely. Thank you for watching. I hope you will come back for the next post on Warden of Arnor will of course be the Dwarrowdelf cycle wrap-up, and then I will obviously be moving on to the first Hobbit box, after probably doing some posts on things other than the Line Unbroken. So please come back to read and watch the future content. Thank you, goodbye.